So yesterday, I was thinking about this whole insurance is boring complex that we have in the industry. And I was like, well, if crappy marketing is a result of boring products, then all of the other really boring products out there must have like the worst marketing. Like deodorant, laundry detergent, and your bathroom. I mean, seriously, like, how do you make this, and this not boring?
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me.
You would not believe the motherload I just dropped. And that's how I like to keep it, leaving not a trace that I was ever here, let alone that I just birthed a creamy behemoth from my cavernous bowels.
I mean, can you imagine being that marketing person? We're gonna start with a half-naked man who's flexing super hard, but it's not actually gonna look like he's flexing. This is a good one. We're gonna remind millennials of all the times that their moms used to do their laundry for them. Yeah. And how that will never happen. Got it. We're gonna make a 2-minute Shakespearean monologue about... Perfect. Seriously? Hold on. Do we really think that deodorant, laundry detergent, and your bathroom are more interesting than insurance? Having said that, I do realize that a ton of money, energy, and resources were dumped into these marketing campaigns. Totally get that. No one is expecting you to create the next 10-pack man, make millennials across the world sob while texting their mom, or make your last bathroom adventure the topic of tonight's dinner. Look, insurance marketing is tough. I get it. I struggle through it every day. But can we just be honest with each other that it's not the fault of the product that we're selling? Now, I know there are a number of you out there who are trying to crush insurance marketing and really push the envelope with creativity and outside the box thinking. And honestly, I wish I could interview all of you, and I definitely hope to do that someday. But let me introduce you to two guys who you probably already know.
Oh no, we have a win guy. Stop it, guys! Stop the win! Shut it down! Stop the win! Shut it down!
You probably know them because of their crazy jump into video recently and watching them interview Ryan Serhant, speak at Gary Vee's conference, or just freaking hang out at the golf course. But what makes their marketing strategy so impactful isn't actually found in each individual video. You see it when you step back and look at the 30,000 foot view.
To your point, like Matt's obviously really big into CrossFit. It's why, God, he looks good wherever he is. But the thing is, like, Matt's always watching like the CrossFit games and the workouts, right? You're not watching the products they sell, and you're not, you know what I mean? So when he's looking at that kind of stuff, we're both looking at motivational stuff all the time, but we kind of tune off a little bit when someone starts selling something. It's not really that interesting. What's more interesting is the journey. What's more interesting is the story. What's not interesting is when you find out it can only be $9.99 for yours. So we really started looking at our own stuff. Our own stuff was all, it can be $9.99 for yours. But it gets lost in the shuffle because Geico does it better.
Now, some of you might be like, no. What is the ROI on that?
Yeah, measurement Sid is Zack has a protractor, and I have a wooden ruler, and together we can determine a lot of ROI.
Do you want to know when the sunset is tonight?
Our strategy from day one wasn't about creating leads, organic leads, directly from Facebook marketing or from video. Our first goal was to use video to establish brand, and if you think about what Zack said earlier about being, our 10-year target is to have the most recognizable culture in the entire country and brand in the entire country. And so if it was to create the most number of leads from video, well, then that would have been the why when we headed into it, but it's not.
So that golf vlog, for instance, there's no way we would ever care about leads from the golf vlog. No way. Like, that makes no sense whatsoever. We did a totally different targeting metric, and we got the results we wanted with that targeting because we went after more fitness, golf, fun, exposure, and we got a lot of insight into that and to see, can we actually tap into that? And it was interesting.
The other thing, Sid, too, is like, before we started the vlog, before we started going heavy into video, Zach and I would be out 3, 4, 5 nights a week, in addition to working from 7 to 7, to network and connect, because that was really the main way to stay top of mind with all of our referral partners. So our business is pretty much predicated on the success of our business development. That funnels to sales, sales funnels to service, right? So if we're not out, historically, if we weren't out, we weren't getting the referrals on a consistent basis because people weren't thinking of us. They weren't remembering us. We weren't relevant. They didn't see us enough with other realtors or loan officers or attorneys. And so when we transitioned, there's a couple things. One, video has allowed us to not have to be out every single night and still stay top of mind. And two, the consistency of the top of mind is way off the charts. So the consistency of the incoming referrals that we're getting is off the charts. And the amount of effort we have to put into it is a lot less. How do you track that ROI? It's nearly impossible to track that. But it's really, really powerful for us.
And here is my favorite part of the entire interview.
The only regret we have is that we didn't start documenting earlier, because we would have documented what you just said. There was like many years of Zach and I both doing a lot of things at the agency that now we have a lot of other people managing. And that's the main reason why we're able to spend so much time with partnerships and with other ideas and other places and on the road and connecting with people and thinking a little bit bigger. It's because we went through all those stages of delegation throughout the years. So if we had done that earlier, like, we would have loved to capture them.
But I think to your point right there is, if I have a cup of coffee every morning and I go to the, shop over there to try to insure them, that's not a journey. Like, because I don't know where I'm trying to go. So yeah, documenting that sucks. But where Matt and I were trying to go, like Matt said, we could have documented it because we could have talked about where we're trying to go. We're trying to be the most recognizable brand and culture in the entire insurance industry in the next 10 years. Now watch me get a cup of coffee and how I do it.
Now, I'm not saying do it the GNN way, although I'm sure if you copy and paste their strategy, it would probably take on a life of its own. But think about this. If you've been successful this far with a mindset that says, insurance marketing is boring, then what happens? What could happen when you flip that switch? We're gonna start with a half-naked man. Half-naked man who's flexing super hard. I guess I can't just get past the half-naked man part. Every time I say it, my brain just